Surprising tension builds. This is one of the easiest way to actually break apart the repetitiveness. Listen to this part. So it sounds of course okay, but it feels like, I don't know, repetitive. So how do you actually break this? First thing to remember, when you're thinking about tensions, you have to pick the right places. Of course, breakdowns are obvious places, but in this case, we are at the intro of a radio edit. And that is the place you have to do something so people can keep listening to your track. And for that, you can actually use tension. So people would like to know what's coming next, right? And if you do these intros or verses where people don't expect the tension, they really work well. So here, let's start with first hats. Automate the frequency so it opens up, and we have to support this with proper effects. So in this case, we have this weird sounding synth sound supported by snare roll. It is a subtle snare roll. We want to keep it subtle, but we still want people feel there's a tension building up, right? Again, coming from my effects pack. And then to emphasize the build up, we are filtering the kick. The sound thins out a bit, right? Kind of adds to the tension. And finally, remove the kicks right before the verse comes in, right? This small adjustment make intro much more interesting and make people wait for what's gonna come. Now we are a bit invested in the track, right? We want to hear what's come next. That part immediately makes the track much less repetitive already. If you want to try my sound packs, preset packs, and my courses, currently we have Black Friday sales up to 40%. This is the only time in the year you can actually get these things with that amount of discount. I will put the links below. Take a look. Adding a twist. This is one of the really fun ways to avoid repetitiveness in your track, and you can make it many different ways. The main idea is you do something that is not really expected that makes the track a bit more interesting. Let me show you. We have this one here. We are following the same pattern as the intro of the song, and I feel like we should do something so that when the vocal comes, it feels a bit different. How can we do that? What if we start with adding a bar right before the drop hits? And fill that area with some cool sounds that nobody will expect. I want something different, something weird. I found this sound in my effects tools. It's a snare build up, but it's experimental. It sounds very different. So this tail only gave me a lot of ideas what I can do, right? I chopped it up to make it in the rhythm. So we have now this. Right, and one bar of variation. Layer this one with a reverse horn. And then reverse cymbal. And finally, reverse vocal to make it it's connected to the vocal. Right? It's very different. It's just like a bridge coming middle of nowhere. And together now we have this. So you have to pick your battles for this one and pick the right moments. But adding this type of surprising sections in your track would really help breaking apart that repetitive feeling. If you're enjoying the video up now, please consider like and subscribe. It really helps a ton. Knowing when to switch ideas. This is a very common mistake, especially when you found good ideas, holding on to them and never switching them. Here, another track that I'm working with Andrea, we have these beautiful vocals. Is it working on the drop? Yeah, you can argue that, but we need the switch because this vocal is actually used whole breakdown. We already kind of use the power of vocal, and we just can't do the same trick over and over again and repeat it and expect people to be staying into it for a really whole song. The one thing that you can do, of course, come up with new ideas, but the better thing to do, take the vocal, the good idea that you have, it could be another lead, create another idea out of it. In this case, we take the vocal, but take the chops of the vocal. We put them into the sampler, and we have this. Adding a bit of volume shaping. It is still similar vibe, but it is a different idea. And then we take another part of the vocal right? A darker, deeper version. And then we layer another part of this vocal and we have this. This turns this into beautiful, choir-like, very driving vocal chops. Right? And then goes the darker part here. The variation inside the idea as well. And look how beautiful this drop works out after this. I wanted to know. Beautiful. So remember to derivate more ideas from your strong ideas to make whole track even stronger. Keeping the background also evolving. Even though the front elements stay the same, you can actually play around the back elements to kind of make the track more interesting and evolving than it is. Listen to this break part. It's pretty cool, but repetitive, isn't it? So idea is this: get things that don't take away from this really haunting feeling. What can we do? Maybe natural sounding, maybe human breath, maybe like things moving around, right? Let's add a human breath. Right? It just glues the ambience. Okay, what else can we do? Maybe make the transition smoother at a symbol, so this suck into the breath. Right? Now I want to emphasize that dramatic feeling. This is again me using my effects pack a bit more creatively. Found the tail from my pitch riser 7F. Sounds like this. So this was actually pitch riser going up and up. I just need that like that ear feeling, right? This is what we are going for. Now listen to again. Right, what is going on? Things evolving, things are happening. And final throw is like finding this super eerie ambience, like the wolves howling, this type of stuff, right? Now we have this. It's like, right? And now listen how much difference this makes. Right? These things can take a bit of time. You are creating this whole sound ambience, but that can really emphasize the variation in your whole track. Sometimes we pay a lot of attention to the main ideas, but we forget about the background leads or background strong ideas. So I have this beautiful melodic progression in a track. Listen to this. Break apart. Cool, obviously, kind of repetitive, kind of bit like boring. You need to support the certain part of the melody to make it hit harder. In this case, like horns, big saws, that type of sounds are very good for this. I have another group here, and in this group, all I have is horns and screeches to support the main idea. I have sound like this. Classic horn sound, and then we have screech. Screech into the horn. And the placements are important. The one thing I want, driving feel. That means that on the beat horn sounds like this. Other thing I want this kind of like driving aggressive feel. How do you support that to your main sound? Screech is like around the end of the bars. Right? Whee, boom. Finally, you can use the pieces of the lead sounds that are used in other part. In this case, we have this sound used in the verse. Right? What if we take that repeating LFO type of sound, this, right? And use it kind of a call and response to our main melody. How So this adds kind of a variation. Things are happening around even though lead sounds stay mostly same and just there's a cut of automation on top. So be careful about your background leads to elevate the main leads and make it less repetitive. But if you want to dive deep into the arrangement, I have a whole arrangement masterclass, 14 plus hours. It really goes right into it, and it also explores the concept like seed-based arrangement, macro and micro arrangement, and many other type of arrangement styles that can help you finish your tracks. But if you want to just stay here and watch more videos, I even have more arrangement videos right here. Take a look at them.